I think Jolly Star is a good chance in the Kingsford Smith Cup.
Jolly Star's running on well now. Is it too late though? Zarastra the inside, Golden Mile. Jolly Star flying out wide, photo finish.
I will bring up that over the last 10 Saturdays, 2 of them have been racing at Flemington in Victoria, and those are the only 2 weeks in which I've made a loss. So hopefully we don't make it 3 from 3 this week.
Salsafella bursting up on the fence from nowhere. Salsafella has beaten Soft Love.
Big finish coming up at the last. They hit the line. Maybe Zazu railed up and beat home Tashi at midnight in Tokyo.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's preview. If you couldn't tell by the intro, I made a loss last week and I had more bad luck than good luck. Even though got really lucky with Jolly Star just getting there on the post, Soft Love went down by 0.02 lengths and Tashi went down in the last in Brisbane by 0.01 lengths. I just want to say something about that as well. This is the photo finish that Racing Queensland post with no line, so I had to do my own line. I reckon Tashi hits the line first because I lined up the line with Tashi's the end of its white nose, and Zazu's not even touching the line, so not sure what's going on there. Maybe that's not the right photo, but anyway, we were unlucky, but we bounced back this week, and thank goodness we're not racing at Flemington. There's something about Flemington, it's a curse. It's the Flemington curse. I know I only had one bet last week at Flemington, but it somehow affects the whole of Australia whenever there's a race meeting at Flemington for the formula that I use. So over the past 11 weeks, 3 meetings have been at Flemington for 3 losses. 8 meetings have been at either Caulfield or Sandown for 8 profits. I hope I haven't jinxed it ahead of this week, but we're racing at Sandown, so let's hope for a profit. But before we get on to the tips, as always, the Fan Cup, 3 people got some winning bets last week. The Blind GK, as he always does, won. And then also Jay and Tim. So those were our 3 winners last week. They all dominate the leaderboard for the first week of June. If you want to put your own best bet in the comments and have your chance of having your name on the leaderboard, then make sure to comment your best bet following these rules. And without further ado, let's get on with this week's preview. Kicking off early in the first at Sandown with race 1, number 3, Ocean Sprint. 2 units the win on at $4. This was Ocean Sprint's debut win at Ballarat in an open maiden over 1,000 metres. Straight to the front here, gave nothing else a chance. Interesting that there was a 2-year-old maiden on this same day, but the McAvoy team decided to bypass that and head to the open maiden, which was worth $50,000 compared to the 2-year-old maiden, $37,000, which just tells me that they have a real good opinion of this horse. Draws gate 5 on Saturday, which is absolutely perfect. Can either lead or settle just in behind them. And Ocean Sprint looks to be, I think, a really promising horse. Blue Point out of a Fastnet Rock mare, speed on speed. Hopefully can speed to the line and win the first on Saturday. Big jump to race 6, where I like the Inform Road Cone. 3 units the win on at $2.70. This was Road Cone's last start win on this track over this distance. This was at benchmark 84 level and he carried 51 kilos. Now he drops back to a benchmark 78, so he's back in class, up 5.5 kilos off this performance. There does look to be a little bit more pressure up front in this race compared to the easy time he had of it on this day. However, he doesn't have to lead. He's a very versatile horse. He has to be sort of not worse than midfield and close enough to the action, but he doesn't have to be leading. From gate 6, I can see him settling on speed off the inside on a potentially soft 5. I'm thinking at Sandown on Saturday. Can be off the fence in the best part of the ground, storming to the line and hopefully making it 3 on the trot. Moving up to New South Wales at Rose Hill, race 4, number 8, Hopper, 1.5 units to the win on at $5. This was his last start run. This was in the same class and track as what he faces on Saturday at Rose Hill in a 3 and 4-year-old, benchmark 72. This was over 1,500 metres. Now the race on Saturday is over 1,400 metres. I guess the main concern with Hopper is the map. He's more than likely going to get back in the field. Drawn gate 11 of 12. However, I just really love the horse. I was on him first up when he won the Super Maiden at Warwick Farm, and then second up was the run we just took a look at. I thought that was really good work as well. Now I just think third up, he's ready to reach a new PB, and I can just see him envisaging in my head storming down the outside late to take the prize. So Hopper, I like as a horse and I want to be with on Saturday. Now going southwest to Murray Bridge, I like race 6, number 8, Zarkana. 3 units the win on it, $3.20. This was her last start run at Murray Bridge in a benchmark 70 over 1,400 metres. Now look, she got way too far out of her ground on this day, drops back in class to a benchmark 64 off that performance, up to the 1,600 metres, which I think is absolutely ideal, judging off this run. 4th up now on Saturday, ready to peak, draws gate 14, so can stay out of trouble off the inside, is going to get back to last anyway, more than likely, considering how it is out of the gates. Nice trial win in between runs at Balaclava. I think Zarkana is going to fly down the outside just like Hopper and take the cash. And that's it. Yep. That's well and truly it. Only 4 of them this week. It feels like I'm doing a Wolf Den Saturday set and only looking at 4 of them. Just had trouble finding them on Saturday, so I was brainstorming just before, what can I do to fill in time so that this video doesn't go for 5 minutes? I'm going to take a closer look at the JJ Atkins and the Stradbroke Handicap, which are the 2 Group 1s at Brisbane on Saturday. Let's have a look at them. Okay, here's the JJ Atkins market at the moment. Cool Archie, who's won 4 on the bounce, is the favourite ahead of Hidden Achievement at $6. Now, when looking at this race, the main lead-up race for the JJ Atkins is usually the size Produce. Now, this was run 2 weeks ago on a heavy 10. So what I was looking for, or looking at, was looking at the starting price of each horse that come out of the size Produce and compare the starting price of the horse in the size Produce to what they are now. And the biggest overlay I found was Aerodrome. So the reason why I'm comparing starting prices is because we were racing on a bogged heavy 10 and the market had priced these horses on what it's done in its past. I know Aerodrome won on a heavy 8 prior to its run in the size Produce, but it's a heavy 10. A heavy 10 is a lot different to a heavy 8 and more horses don't handle it. So Aerodrome's the biggest overlay if you're looking for a horse out of the size Produce. I wouldn't deter you from backing Hidden Achievement. J-Mac on Blinker's first time looks to be absolutely awesome in terms of having your money on. Talk to Be Sure I thought was the best finishing horse in the size Produce. However, that was on a heavy 10, so that might be a little bit skewed in terms of my judgment there. So overall, for value purposes, I think Aerodrome and yeah, Talk to Be Sure. We'll throw in Talk to Be Sure, Aerodrome and Talk to Be Sure in the JJ Atkins. Now onto the Stradbroke, where War Machine is the clear-cut favourite at $3.10. I was on this horse last done in the BRC Sprint and it got the job done. Golden Mile, Rise at Dawn and Komochi all come through the Kingsford Smith Cup just last week. Private Eye, the class, and the Inflictor, the lightweight that settles on speed. In my opinion, I have to have War Machine ahead of this lot. I just think its past 2 wins have been really good. Even the win at Caulfield 2 back rated very highly, and it dominated in the BRC Sprint last start. Gate 13 might not be this bad come this stage of the day. 4th up, ready to peak, and I think it's ready to get a Group 1 on its CV, War Machine. I think it's got to be the on-top selection in the Stradbroke. If you like anything else, especially at odds, let me know in the comments. And now that those 2 Group 1s are out of the way, a little bit of self-promo wouldn't hurt, I wouldn't think. So, Salmonator's Form Factors is a new mini-series I'm doing on my channel. Episode 1 came out Monday, 8 p.m. That's when all episodes will come out for at least the next 10 weeks. So you got that to look forward to. I talked about staying races on Monday night. So make sure to watch that if you haven't already. As well as this, I'm back doing live streams last week, Friday, 4 p.m. I did a live stream previewing the Flemington meeting, focusing on the races I didn't talk through in my preview. So, for example, the live stream I'll be doing tomorrow, Friday at 4 p.m, I'll be talking about the Sandown races, excluding race 1 and race 6, where I have Ocean Sprint and also Road Cone in them. So, make sure to follow that along. Now I think it's time for Let It Ride. I got a bit carried away last week by putting a horse in for a place that was $2.70. I should have just played safe and gone for Hurstville Zagreb. Anyway, we're back down to 0. We're going to start fresh. And this week I'm going for Murray Bridge, race 6, number 8, Zarkana to place. If this horse doesn't win, I expect it to be powering home into a minus spot. It is going to get back, so maybe time might run out, and I'm hoping it can sneak into the top 3. $1.70 the place, I think, is pretty good value as well for this horse. So Zarkana is the Let It Ride bet for this week. Thanks everyone for watching my preview. It's going to be a 9.5 unit spend across these 4 horses. 2 of them win, we make a profit. 1 of them win, we are pretty close to profit, and then none of them win. I'm in a bad form slump. So that was this week's preview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next week's preview, bye for now.